Now what I'd like to talk about is Newtown Corp and going forward. Much has been made about the executive director and the release of her, termination of her contract. Unfortunately, these things happen. What I like to talk about is coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is unity, and thinking together is success. Right up here, Jim. Mike, you pointed that out. And these are great words, but they're only words unless you do something about it. The formation of the Newtown Corporation, formerly JD&C, was to be an organization that would bring the township and the borough together, unite groups, work together for a common purpose. And that purpose is Newtown. Not Newtown Township, not Newtown Borough, but Newtown. We're looking to change, we changed our name to Newtown Corporation. What we'd like to add into it is a community alliance working for the betterment of Newtown. And that's our goal going forward. Now what I would ask is that this board attend the meeting of the 28th, hear what we have to say. We are bringing on a professional marketing group. We have a lot of new ideas. Julia even alluded to the meeting last week that for the last 2 years you have wrestled with the Newtown Corporation concept. Well, so have I, and I'd like to see some changes. And it starts with our board, and our board is very aggressive. We started this year with a little thing called a parade, and we moved it just from the borough to the borough and the township. It went from a little parade that went around the block to over 30 different groups and 850 people. And it stretched from the Green Parrot down Sycamore Street, up Washington, down State Street to the Hardware House. I think it's the biggest parade anybody has seen in years. And that was cooperation that did that. It wasn't any one person. It was a group. And I think that's the kind of spirit we need to continue forward. And that's why I'm hoping that the borough will at least wait until after the meeting of the 28th to hear what our proposal is. I sent out 2 questions to members of council. The question was, what has Newtown Corporation done in the past or is doing that you like, and what aren't we doing that you'd like to see? And that helps us, because we need to know what you're thinking. And to your question last week, Mike, you didn't know. I will point out the fact that the township liaison was there. He was allowed and he participated, and we had questions for him at our meeting. Nobody from the borough has been there for months. You know, and in order to participate, you have to be there. And it would help if people from the borough would attend. I would like to see us stay together, see us work together. And as far as money concerns, money issues can always be worked out. It's not money. It's working together that matters. And that's why I'm asking that this board continue to work with the Newtown Corporation, or at least wait until after the meeting of the 28th. And for those members who can't make it on the 28th, this Thursday we have our board meeting. And the marketing company that we're hoping to bring on board, Goffman Group, will be there to make a mini presentation about the new website and what we hope to accomplish with it, among other things. So if you can't make it, because I know, John, you said you'd be away, and Gerard, you weren't sure, come on Thursday, 4:30, right at Borough Hall, and hear what they have to say. Now, if you have any questions for me, and I can answer them, I will.
I just have a couple. How long prior to the meeting in this room on December 8th, 2009, was it known at the board level or the executive level that the executive director was being considered for termination?
I don't know if it was ever considered. I mean, that's like me asking you, how long before tonight did you know you were going to vote on something? You don't. Sometimes you don't know till you get in the room. We met, we had an executive session, which I can't talk about, as you can't talk about what you do in your executive session. Involved personnel. Discussion occurred. Based on that discussion, you know, motions were made and votes were taken after we reconvened.
Am I to understand that prior to the evening of December 8th, 2009, the termination of the executive director had not been discussed in any board meeting of the Newtown Corporation?
Not at any board meeting, nope.
Was it discussed in any executive session?
Nope.
So it was just brought up that night?
Yep.
Now, you were present here that evening, were you not?
I came over after the executive session.
At that point, when you came over after the executive session, did you understand that there was a possible termination of the executive director that may occur?
Nope.
You did discuss it that evening, did you not? You discussed the status of the executive director.
Nope, we talked about the contract.
All right.
Any other questions, Counselor?
Forgive my having trouble understanding how something so important involving the executive director who has been there since the inception of the JDNC.
No, she has not.
May I finish?
She was brought in afterwards, sir.
May I finish? Is not discussed at all before December 8th, 2009, is not worthy, apparently, of mention here this evening when you returned from that meeting, and then occurs 2 days later after council in this room decides to pay the $5,000 for 2009 and also commit the $5,000 for 2010 without knowing any of this is about to transpire. That is very troubling. Now, to your point about things in executive session.
Excuse me, Mike.
May I finish?
No.
No,
I
no,
take
you
exception
spoke-
to that.
you
And
spoke-
I'm not here to be cross-examined by you.
You
I
spoke,
told
it's
you
now
what
my
happened,
turn.
That's all I can say.
May
I've
I
said
have-
enough. Thank you.
Do I have the
I'm
floor?
sorry. This is not a trial, okay? I stood here, I answered your questions. I told you what happened. Now, I feel like I'm being cross-examined by you, Counselor.
I have
Okay?
questions.
And that's the end of it.
Well,
Thank you.
if you refuse to answer the questions, that in and of itself.
Congress now? Excuse me.
No, it happens to be a nonprofit agency that is publicly funded. It receives taxpayer dollars from the township. It receives taxpayer dollars from the borough. And what is extremely troubling is that all these things, which are very, very important things, particularly the termination of the executive director, occurred without even the courtesy of either municipality being advised first that there was a question involving performance, or second, the termination was being contemplated, no less being carried out 2 nights after an appearance was made in this room to have us award money for 2009 and commit it for 2010. And what I think there's a lack of appreciation by the current members of the board of the Newtown Corporation is that this is somewhat a quasi-public agency. It's not a club. It's not the Newtown Business and Professional Association. It's not the Rotary. It's not the Exchange. It is something that takes public money. And there is a required disclosure and an openness, which may not be as much as a public body like ours, but it's darn close. So forgive my skepticism when you are here and the corporation is here, including the executive director, on the evening of December 8th, 2009, to ask for money to be released and to commit money for 2010, and we do not even have the courtesy shown to us of telling us about these events about to transpire. Last point is this. My understanding is that with the termination, as abrupt as it was, there's also a new acting director of the corporation. Is that correct?
There is.
Who is that?
That's me.
Are you being paid?
I am.
How much are you being paid?
$600 a week.
And what are your duties in that position?
I am to do exactly what was done before, and I'm actually meeting with people to get the meeting of the 28th in order and to serve until we find a permanent director.
And do you consider yourself a candidate for a permanent director position, or do you take yourself out of that running?
I've taken myself out of it.
So you're strictly in acting capacity until such time as the search committee finds a new director?
Yep.
Okay. That's all I have right now. Thank you.
Mr. Salvatore, I'm concerned about the bylaws of the Newtown Corporation, specifically Article 3, Section 2, which, if I have a current copy, it says, no part of the net earnings of the corporation shall inure to the benefit of or be distributable to its members, trustees, officers, or other private persons, except that the corporation shall be authorized and empowered to pay reasonable compensation for services rendered and to make payments and distributions in furtherance of the purposes set forth herein. Are you staying on as a director of the Newtown Corporation while you are receiving compensation from the funds of the corporation?
I have, but I have not been voting, mainly because if I resign my seat, I'm off the board. But I will not vote.
Have you given any consideration to perhaps resigning your seat while serving as interim director?
I have,
and dismissed it, I gather?
at this time. I'm waiting for our board to meet on Thursday, and we'll address issues then. You're more than welcome to come to our meeting. We'd love to have somebody from the borough there for a change.